Okay, live. Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Bailey Shoemaker. I am an ISAC Core member in the Lakeland Community College District. So I serve the high schools in that area. So we're talking about transferring from a community college to a university. I started at Lakeland Community College first, and then I transferred over to Eastern Illinois University.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Hello, everybody. My name is Raquel Garcia. I am the ISAC representative for the Harper College District, so out in the northwest suburbs. I started off my higher education journey over in Harper College, so the actual district that I work in. I started off there, and then after 2 years, I transferred out to the University of Illinois at Chicago to earn my bachelor's in business management. So, Bailey, why don't you go ahead and get us started just telling us about why you started off in one place and then transferred out to another.
Yeah. Okay. So I started off at community college because I wasn't completely sure what I wanted to do after high school. So I went in and did my general education classes at first to figure out what I wanted to do. And also get the feel of what college was like transferring from a high school. I grew up in a small community, so I was a little bit nervous going into a university because it was pretty large. So it was a good start for me. And also community college was a good start to almost like restart like my GPA and to kind of get my grades up so that whenever I transferred to a university, I was going to have a higher GPA because I took college really seriously. So it was kind of a restart for me. And then also, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was a good time for me to explore different careers. And I ended up deciding on my major while I was there. So it was a better transition to university. And also saving money. That was also another big one.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk a little bit about my experience. So mine was a little bit different in that I actually did know what I wanted to do. So when I graduated high school or my senior year, I was very confident in that I wanted to be an engineer. I had gotten my FAFSA report, and I knew I wasn't going to qualify for a lot of financial aid. I didn't know about the appeal process. I wish I would have, or else I would have qualified for a lot more. But I made my decision to go to community college solely based off of financial reasons. I knew that I could not afford going to a 4-year university or living on campus, which back in 2017, it was a lot more common for 4-year universities to require to live on campus. And I knew that's just something that wasn't in my budget. And I made the decision to not take out student loans for my higher ed journey. And so that was the main driver. So financial reasons were the main driver as to why I chose community college. I knew that I could be a part of a program called 1 Million Degrees, which is central to City Colleges of Chicago, but they do work with several community colleges out in the suburbs. And so I applied to their program. They are last dollar scholarships. So whatever FAFSA didn't cover, whatever financial aid didn't cover, they ended up covering the rest. I will say that it took a lot of classes and a lot of career exploration for me to realize that engineering was not the path for me. And so it was a great way to explore, especially because at 18, you think you know what you want to study. And I think that's common for a lot of our peers. And a lot of students end up changing their careers or their majors, intended study, as they take classes. And so it was perfect for me to change from engineering to communications to publication to community affairs, all until I ended up in business. And by the time I was ready to transfer, I knew that I wanted to study business, and that's where I ended up going. Once ready to look to transfer out, because I think you really only get like a year to kind of relax from the college applications, and then you have to reapply again. I started to look at colleges again and reapply because I didn't know that you could defer. So students who are looking to maybe start at community colleges, look into maybe an appeal process. If it's for financial concerns, look into deferment. If you can defer a decision, then you wouldn't have to restart that whole college application process all over again. I would also like to emphasize that I, like you, wasn't really ready for that big university, big change that a lot of students are ready to leave home for the first time or gain that independence. I wasn't really ready for that just yet. And so that was also a contributing factor for myself, kind of staying home, staying local. There was a commitment to my family and a commitment to not wanting to take out student loans. So that was also a part of my decision to start off at a community college.
Okay. You want to talk about like tips
Yeah.
for transferring?
Yeah, I can
You
definitely
want to start?
definitely talk about I'll do one and then you do
Okay.
another. So I think my first tip as a transfer student is that I was very intentional. I knew that I was going to start at a community college and that I would eventually transfer out. I didn't know how many years it was going to be. I knew I wanted to take the 2-2 path, but I was very intentional that I was going to graduate. I wasn't going to stop at an associate's. And so I encourage students to go in with that intention. If they say, well, I'll start off at community college, but I think I want to go to a 4-year afterwards, be intentional about that process, because so many community colleges have these pathways and these partnerships with 4-year schools. So Harper College had all these different transfer plans. So when I was looking at engineering, they were like, okay, great. We have talked to DePaul and we said these are the classes that are going to transfer over perfectly so that you start off at a junior standing. And so that would be my tip to students is start off with, if you have the intention of transferring, go in and tell your admissions counselor, your advisor that, hey, my plan is to transfer one day. And I think that opens up a lot more resources that they can help you out with.
Okay.
What about you?
So kind of matching with that, my biggest tip is to communicate with your advisor to make sure that you're not taking classes that aren't going to transfer. I have a lot of friends who transferred and they didn't communicate very well with their advisor. So once they left, some of their classes didn't transfer. But I'll give another tip since you kind of just said that. Another tip would be, so once you do transfer, find like kind of your community, get involved with organizations like RSOs, find something that you're interested in so you can get to know other people, because it can kind of feel like everyone already found their friends because you're coming in as a junior. But once you get involved, people will come with open arms, and also find people who are also transfer students. I actually roomed with 3 other people off campus, but we were all transfer students. So I kind of had them to talk about their experiences, and we were kind of going through the same thing. So find people who also are transfer students, but also get involved so you can find other friends on campus and other people to get involved with.
Yeah, I think I'll build on that. Another tip is with involvement, going with also finding maybe a work study or employment near the campus, because that's a great way to get involved and meet new people and gain that employment experience that you'll really need. Another tip I would say make the most. Don't get caught up in the stereotypes of starting off at a community college, or those stereotypes of what community college or who community college is for. Make the most of your experience. It is still college. It is still part of your higher ed journey. And for a lot of students, they would say that, Bailey, I don't know if you would agree with me, but that your community college experience does hold like a good chunk of your like college experience itself. Yeah. So I would encourage you to make the most of it. Like Bailey said, go out and participate in clubs, look out for your organizations that you want to be a part of, room on campus with those either other transfer students, or maybe even be open and brave and go into something totally new. Another tip, because I know that was kind of bouncing off of yours, I'm trying to remember, is I would say utilize your resources. So I definitely utilize the Career Center, the Transfer Center, finding a mentor on campus at my community college was definitely a huge help, because they were able to say like, hey, have you thought about this yet? Have you looked into internships? I think internships is something that's really overlooked in community college. But there are so many opportunities out there because you're so local and you're so close to businesses as well. At least in my area at Harper, I was. And so Internships aren't really spoken about until maybe your junior or senior year, but they can definitely be highly utilized at a community college as well. And there are the opportunities are there. You really just have to go out and ask.
Okay. Another one. So I mentioned that I went to Lakeland. One of the reasons is that I chose community college was because I wanted an opportunity to work on my GPA. Because I wasn't the strongest student in high school, but once I got to college, I really was focused on, changing my future and doing better for myself. So at community college, I worked really, really hard, and I had a great GPA leaving community college. So whenever I left, when I was going to transfer, there was transfer scholarships out there, and that where I was going, Eastern Illinois University, it was based on GPA. So it really, really helped me financially because I had a good GPA and was able to get that transfer scholarship and then get some of my first year at university paid for, which was really huge for me. Also, being able to put that on like resumes and things like that, having a strong GPA was amazing for me because I really didn't have that in high school. So kind of getting that fresh start at community college was really, really large for me in my future.
Yeah, kind of bouncing off of that, because I know you mentioned it was a fresh start for you, using community college as part of career exploration. So for a lot of students who don't know what they're doing, I encourage students I meet with, like, hey, if you're interested in marketing, take your marketing class. If you're interested in business, take an entrepreneurship class. Take those classes, but you do have to be careful to make sure that your financial aid will help pay for them because they're part of your curriculum. But when you transfer out, you want to make sure that they're either going to be extra curricular courses, or they're, what are they called? I'm trying to remember the ones that you could take in any area.
Yeah,
the optional courses that you could take towards your degree. Elective courses. Yeah. There you go. That you could use as elective courses. But really just use that time to explore and branch out, because it's better that you utilize a community college where it's only going to cost you maybe a couple $100s per class, opposed to transferring out to a university where it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s. So take advantage of that lower cost to really find what it is that you're passionate about and what are your interests that you would like to turn into a career.
Yeah. I'm kind of going off that. So community college is a good place to explore different majors and things like that. But I would say it's best to maybe find that major that you want to move on with in your college career. It'd be really difficult to move on into university and not have your set career yet. I actually knew someone who went from community college and then left and was going to university and still didn't really know what they were wanting to do. But it's best to leave community college and then going into university having an idea and kind of more of a set idea on what you want to explore at university. It makes it a lot easier when you actually know once you get there, and then you can really hone in on those interests and getting into those organizations and taking those classes, and then to get your degree.
Did you take 2 years at your community college?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did as well. So I think it's important when students think of community college, you typically think of the 2 years at community college and then the 2 years at university. But that's nowhere means that that's required, that you have to finish within those 2 years. If it takes you 3 years to figure it out as a full-time student, that's perfectly fine, because you need to take your time. You need to do that career exploration to really figure it out. Like Bailey said, it's best if you do find out what it is you want to major in before you transfer out, because then you could be very intentional about the clubs that you join, the internships, the work studies that you choose to participate in. And so I think it's really important that although the traditional path is 2 years, it's okay to take more than that. Just be intentional about your financial aid and remembering what it is that your plans are in the career that you're choosing.
Okay.
I know we're wrapping up on time here. Do you have any last minute recommendations or tips to students as we wrap up?
I'm trying to think of anything else we haven't touched on. Do you have anything else?
I believe we touched on everything. Maybe just keep in mind that I know that especially for first gen, we want to go out. We want that independence from our parents. We want that going away from home kind of sense. And community college doesn't really provide that to you, but you are going to be on campus. You're going to be your own person. It is still a sense of independency for students. So I know sometimes looking at your peers who are going on a different path may be discouraging to go to a community college, but don't let that stop you. At the end of the day, you will still get your degree. You will still make it to your career that you would like to achieve. You just took a different path there.
Yeah. I think that's good.
All right. I think that's everything for today. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any further questions, please visit our website at isag.org to find out more about these first gen events and to find our contact information if you have any further questions. And again, my name is Raquel Garcia in the Harper College District.
And I'm Bailey Shoemaker in the Lakeland College District.
Thank you for joining us.
I tried to